Hello, time for an update. It's been very hot, it's been very dry. Um, Feels like climate change is really kind of coming to bite. Uh, you can see behind me the fields are super dry. We've got cows in the field opposite grazing. Not sure if you can see them quite now, but feeling very sorry for them. There's really not much there. So it seemed a good idea to give an update about the garden and particularly about food growing, because that was always part of the plan here to have an eco house that had some resilience in the face of food scarcity, which we're looking at now really increasing prices for food. So I just want to show you what we've done here. Okay, so now we're down in the garden, and as you can see, we've now got the terrace that was always part of the plan, and underneath it we've got three big IBCs, which we're going to use as water tanks from taking rainwater from the front roof. That's in addition to the two we've got at the side there, taking water from the back roof. So I'll have about 5,000 litres stored when it rains, which it hasn't for a really long time. So at the moment we've got a hose pipe ban, so we're just managing with watering cans, filling the watering cans from a hose. It's not too bad because the growing area is pretty concentrated now. So that bathtub there, we've just picked it up. Somebody was chucking it out. That's going to be a wildlife pond. And then I just want to show you the main food growing area and sort of plans we've got for extending it. So we'll just have a little wander. So here I've got some saplings of fruit bushes and fruit trees that are going to go in maybe this winter to form a mini food forest down the bottom of the garden, which should provide a bit of shelter from the wind, which can get quite strong here, and also a little bit of shade for the other plants. So hopefully that will produce some food and also benefit the rest of the garden. So I'm just growing them on a little bit, and then we'll plant them out in the winter when they're dormant. So the main food growing, so we've got kind of two sort of things going on here. Basically we've got the permanent planters, which are these galvanized raised beds, and then we've got a few sort of temporary ones that we've used as we've had to kind of move soil around the site. So those are mostly builders bags, and we've got one sort of pallet collar bed there. So we had to move a lot of soil to get the terrace in, because we had to underpin the house because the terrace was structurally compromised. So that's how come we've got so much soil on site. So we've got a big pile there to use. So trying to keep all the soil on site and make use of it. So what have we got? So the big bags, I just wanted something easy to grow in them. So I've put in some butternut squash. Watering, I just try and give them a big drink maybe every 3 or 4 days. They've kind of looked a bit droopy in the extreme heat we've having, but they have also been pretty productive. So we've got a good number of squash off these two plants. So just waiting for them to ripen so they'll store for the winter. That middle bed there, that's kind of empty. We did have potatoes in, so I've just kind of mulched it to try and keep some moisture in the soil while waiting for it to be moved or planted. This is a little bit of a miscellaneous one, just got the squash growing into it, got some crocosmia left over from the garden before, and then in the middle there's a rhubarb that's sort of struggling, but I've been giving it a bit more water recently. So things that have done well are lettuces this year. First year. A lot of kale, which I've been picking intermittently. Some radishes that are getting munched by something. In fact, they're mostly gone now. Tomatoes have done really well. This one's coming to an end now, just a few left, but we've been having maybe 200 grams of tomatoes from 2 plants every day, which is more than enough for us. Over here, this was broad beans, so it's just had recent plantings put in, so salad leaves and mixed lettuce, all doing fine, needing quite a lot of water at this stage. Just put in a few carrots about a month ago. They're coming up well and should be fine for the autumn. We've got carrots and parsnips, which I'm only watering very rarely now. I'm not sure they're going to get much bigger until we get some kind of autumn rains, but they're just kind of holding on for now. Again, this had broad beans in earlier, which cropped really well, and now I've transplanted leeks in there. Lots more of the kale. So courgettes have done super well, apart from this little one. Don't know what's happening there. So we've got these 2 plants which have been real kind of monsters of production, and we have 1 or 2 courgettes a day, and have had that for a good month. So that just shows you can see on the stalks, you know, how many have been harvested and now kind of growing over. But we're still getting maybe 1 a day now. There's one just there, ready to pick. I just stuck these beans in. I didn't really have anywhere else to put them, but they seem to be growing all right up that hedge, which saves having to have other support. A lot of the flowers didn't seem to get pollinated and produce beans, but those that have, you know, we've got good sized beans from them. The lettuce, in places gone to seeds. I've just let it for now. I'll probably leave a few, and then hopefully we'll get a few volunteer lettuces coming up. So it's a pretty formal sort of layout in a way, with these great big galvanised beds. I would say they've proved to be useful and worth considering if you're planning a new garden. The height means you've got obviously a good depth of soil. It also means you don't have to worry too much about the paths. So I haven't mown the paths, obviously it's been super dry, but it's meant I can kind of relax about what's growing in from the path to the bed, because nothing's that tall. So we've got some nice kind of wild plants growing up here, a bit of ragwort, some yarrow, oxeye daisy there, so I can be pretty relaxed about those. They attract some pollinators, so I'm happy to have them there. Yeah, so another advantage I would say of having these raised beds is they're a really good height, so you can see what's going on really easily. So I find myself spotting a weed at a very early stage and dealing with it before it becomes a nuisance. So just that extra visibility has proved really useful. Also, you know, good height for picking, apart from when they get super tall. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to pick the top of those, but we'll find out. Yeah, the beans have done really well. These French beans, picking every day. You'll notice it's a bit of a mishmash of things here and there. Basically, not everything works, and if something doesn't work, I just put something else in that I can. So we've got some, don't know if you can see, some golden beetroot down there. and the beans sort of kind of moving through the space in a slightly ad hoc way. Wasn't sure they were going to take, so hadn't quite planned for them to grow so big. But anyway, I've put in some support as best I could after the fact. Yeah, so the beans done really well. Also got spinach here, more leeks from where I think we had potatoes there before, so that's our second crop. So close planting has worked really well for us in the heat. It's a smaller area to water. The plant's roots are forced like down rather than across. Obviously it keeps the ground shaded, and they seem to have been really productive. So this close spacing in this instance has worked well. If it was damp weather, we might have a few more problems with fungal organisms taking root, but in this dry weather the close spacing hasn't been a problem. There was a little bit of rust on these leeks before I transplanted them, but I cut it off and gave them better spacing, and they seem to have fought it off. Got signs of leaf beetle there, which I think has been pretty widespread this summer. But I think that the leaf beetle for us has flown. It came in, had a go at every kind of cabbagey plant, but then it just seemed to go. Don't know why. Don't know why it came, don't know why it went. This was sweet corn, so this was new bed. Had a great harvest, one good cob from each plant. As you can see, we've used mulching as we have throughout the garden, and I used some extra tiles that I had left over here as an extra sort of inorganic mulch to keep the water in. Oh yeah, and so this bed eventually is going to be fruit bushes. So this is just a first crop to kind of loosen up the soil. So it's just there's grass underneath there, and we just put soil and compost on top. So I just wanted to sort of kill off the grass with a nice vigorous crop. So that's the job of the sweet corn. As you can see, we're on a slope, so interrupting the slope will help water to infiltrate when it does eventually rain. Hence we've used gabions here to lift up the edge so that bed is a bit more level, and then then that'll be fruit bushes, which will give a bit of shade and shelter to the containers behind without blocking the sun at a high level. Down here it's mostly sort of temporary, well, all temporary beds really, with some squash in that's doing okay. So this will be the mini food forest area. So I'll make a bank here. I think I'm going to use hessian bags with soil in to create the height of a bank, just maybe 30 centimeters high. Again, just to interrupt the slope and to improve the chance of water going down rather than down into the soil, rather than down the slope and on into the road there. This is a beginning of a permanent planting here. So we've got our gabions at the front. This is with brick and flint. The ones up there were roof tiles and flint, so all materials we had on site. So we've got a bank here, again interrupting the slope, and I've just tried a few different plants here to see what's going to be happy. Blackcurrant's been fine. The hyssop and the thyme have clung on. I lost a lavender. I overestimated its resilience. But we've got sage, some other lavender, gooseberries, this weird raspberry that seems to want to go sideways. Don't know what's going on there. Little rowan tree, gooseberries, that's a honey bush, more weird raspberries, and these are some golden raspberries which have actually fruited this year, even though they only went in perhaps in May or June, just a little one from Morrison's. yeah, so I think that's it. You can see we've put in some informal solar shading, just some white fabric hung from wooden doweling fixed to the soffits there, which has helped to keep the house cool. I think that's it. Goodbye.